Let's Talk Oculus, a VR podcast, is proudly sponsored by the good folks at Patreon. If you want to support the show, join us on patreon.com/Let's Talk Oculus.
What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome back to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 230. 230, Samson. I'm your host, Dan. I'm joined by Samson, of course, as I just said his name. How you doing? We're at 230. That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild. We are halfway to 560 for all those counting.
Right.
And pretty incredible stuff. Dan, is finally warmer weather. That, and I've got to start paying more attention to the temple that is my body. And so I got back into some rhythm games and some outside VR, Dan.
Nice.
How are you doing? How is your weather?
Same. It's actually snowing and it was crazy yesterday, so maybe not as pretty as that. But it's nice and sunny at least. But it is very cold. Yeah, the body of the temple. I've actually also thought the same, but not in terms of my body, but in my mind. And we'll talk about that a little later on in part two. So we got a fun little show. We are, like, for full transparency, recording this one a little bit much earlier than we would normally record, just because by the time you're listening to this, I am in Ireland for a wedding. So I am well away from the normal studio here, and next week you'll actually have Mike from Live Open Mike, or Mike from Upload VR, or Mike Johnson, as he goes by his professional
gaming
name. Gaming journalist and Upload VR, who will be taking over for me next week, which is going to be great because, you know, this time he's been on the show before, obviously, but this time him being an Upload VR journalist, just came back from, be coming back from GDC as well. There'll be a lot to talk about, which is
will really
gonna be a
be
fun one.
We're going to start just, mooching off his cachet.
Right. That's exactly right. But in today's show, for everyone listening here, basically we're going to go through just a few things that we've been doing. Like, Samson, you've been playing the Smashdrums campaign and some other rhythm games, like you said, trying to get back into shape and all, doing all that kind of things of what you were saying. I've did episode 2 of Crafting Crimes that I really want to talk about. We've got Little Nightmares that has just shown the release date. Like, we didn't hear anything about that game for a while, and all of a sudden we got a release date coming out real soon. I played this new meditation app as well. We had some Thrill of the Fight esports to talk about. There's loads of random fun things today. I don't even know how to name this episode, because it's just a bunch of random fun things rather than one overarching thing. But
there you go. That's your title.
Yeah, that is my title. Just a random thing episode. Samson, as always, let's do a bit of housekeeping real quick.
Housekeeping.
So we got the Discord below. Feel free to join the Discord. We have walkabout tournaments that happen every week. We have Healing Entree posting in the walkabout tournament you can submit a score to him. You can submit a race mode to him, and you'll see how much you'll rank across everybody else. I said that in perfect English right there. You get the idea. We have walkabout Thursdays and Sundays as well. Thursdays normally Dave hosts. Sundays normally Samson hosts when he's around. So definitely join us in there. We have a good little group, good little community in there. Also, if you want to write into the show, let's talk Oculus at gmail.com. You've got Spotify, you've got YouTube, you've got episode discussion chat in the Discord as well. Samson, we did receive one comment, just because we're recording this much earlier, but we have one comment just to read out here. Do you want to read it out for me?
I would love to, Dan. This comment comes from, drum roll please, RFX. I'm a 38-year-old millennial who never got into Pokemon because my uncle had me get into MTG a couple years before Pokemon came out, but I still feel obligated to keep up on all the Pokemon news. And Dan, that's Magic the Gathering for all those unsure of MTG.
Had to Google it just in case.
I remember in grade school, MTG and Pokemon started getting popular amongst the kids on the playground around the same time. I do remember there were a few hardcore, Magic the Gathering players, and those cards look so cool. I remember not understanding at all how to play. I did play the Pokemon game though, the trading card game.
You did?
A decent amount. Yeah, I didn't get into like collecting all the cards. I just enjoyed playing against other people. Yeah. Hold on, there's somebody trying to get into my house apparently.
Yeah, I can hear the dog there. I actually never played. I don't think I really played I had Pokemon cards, but I never actually played the game. I think we did like maybe just like our own version of the game, maybe at school, with the cards that we have, but we never played it like officially or properly. I couldn't even tell you how you would play the game of Pokemon, to be quite honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Dan, it's great. You need the energy cards. Your Pokemon have HP. You need a certain number of energy cards to do attacks, and then you use, just like in the game, you use a turn to take them back. Yeah. I think you have to kill like 3 or make them faint, if you will, to get a dub. And it's pretty fun. And there's a phone app too that I got pretty into like a year ago. And then I had to put it down. I had to put it down. But it's dangerous. Pokemon's a dangerous game. There's a Pokemon for everybody out there.
There is. I agree. There is. It's so popular now as well. I don't know. I think they're doing it at PAX. So it'll be next week for everyone listening to this. So maybe we'll try it then. Maybe I'll try it then.
Maybe.
But because we tried MTG last year, at PAX as well.
Yeah, we came away with our own deck of cards.
Yeah,
we should do that, and we'll just collect all the packs as slowly
all the starter decks.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I was going to say as well from this comment brings up a really interesting question. It's like, is there any like news that we keep up with, even if we're not in that space? Because like our FX said, he still keeps up with all of that Pokemon news, even though he's not really interested in it, or not really gotten into it that much and such. So is there anything, Samson, that maybe you keep up with that maybe you're not fully interested in? Like, well, I guess you have to be interested in to want to keep up with it, but if you know what I mean, like not in that space as much.
I mean, I'm not making content in most spaces that I keep up in, but I am annoying my friends with a lot of the stuff I do keep up with. But I do like to generally keep up with gaming news. I get a lot of time to listen/watch YouTube at work, so it's sort of what I'm listening to when I'm not taking in random news, political news and such. But I try to watch like Spawn Wave and some Game Ranks, Jake Baldino. Sony's got the Mystical and all that. For general, like whatever the hell is going on in the random internet zeitgeist, you got the Penguins, Charlie, or some ordinary gamer. But I generally keep up with it all. I don't know that I watch every video by all these people, but I'm generally keeping up with the gaming news, the zeitgeist, what's going on,
Yeah, I think we're similar, to be honest. I think anything Nintendo or Sony for sure, even though I'm technically in that space. I haven't played the PS5 all year or calendar year. It's 2026. And in terms of a Nintendo console, I haven't played one for at least 2 years, since I sold the Switch 2 years ago.
No, we must have played last year at PAX.
We must have, but actually just in a general sense, I don't think I've touched one. But I always feel inclined to keep up with the news for both of them, even though I still don't have more inclination to play said consoles. And for some reason, retro game consoles as well, like the emulation stuff, I have no desire to buy another one. I have a pretty good rotation right now. I have the Steam Deck, the Trim UI Brick, and the Meta Quest as the VR headset, which is the perfect 3 rotation for me now, which is a real weird 3. You would never hear of that 3 10, 15 years ago, but that is now the rotation.
They're an interesting triangle, Dan.
They are an interesting triangle, but I'm just interested in the space. I'm just interested to see what's happening with it. But yeah, like I said, no desire to buy or get into it or whatever. It's just, I think some of that stuff is just nostalgic stuff from my childhood that I still want to just be in touch with rather than, you know.
For me, I know eventually I'll get a Switch 2. Like,
Right.
not soon, but like one day I'll have a Switch 2. And I'll probably want to play the games that have been coming out now. Like,
Right.
You know, it took me a while to get my Switch 1, too.
This Pocopia's not tempted you at all? Like, it has
that's
a bunch of more people?
Pokopia has given me the biggest FOMO so far for Switch 2, but it's not enough to make me spend, $600 on a Switch 2, Mario Kart, and Pokopia.
Yeah, but maybe next year when there's a couple more things coming out. Like, they're getting close.
It's probably 2 years away for me because, Dan, I'm probably much more interested in the frame.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Well, this is actually... Sorry, go on.
I will say I've gotten myself back into Rocket League. You mentioned not playing the PS5. I've now got Rocket League on everything, and I've been playing a lot more of it. A lot of hockey. I'm not good at the aerials, Mm-hmm. I played with my buddy. He said, "What do you want to play?" I said, "I don't care." He said, "All right, you don't care? We're going to play hoops." My God. We lasted 2 games before he was like, all right, we can do something else.
That's tough.
The other teams just trash talk. They're literally just typing while they're crushing me. Mm-hmm. Good old Rocket League. But anyway, let's digress.
Yeah, that I think my cousin like exclusively just plays that game, and he's
so much fun.
He's like in his late 30s and such, but like every time I see him on the PlayStation, he's always just playing Rocket League. That's it.
Yeah, and the thing is, Dan, you can play for hours, but each one's just it's 5 minutes unless you go to overtime. But it's generally going to be pretty short bursts, so you can always just hop out.
That's true. I was going to say, I mean, you had a perfect segue there until you threw that Rocket League in there where you talked about the Steam frame. And that takes me to the next little mini topic that we have on the show is, like I said, I'm going to Ireland by the time you're listening to this, and I'll be on a long flight. It's not that long, actually. I think it ends up being like 6 hours, I think, from Toronto. So it's not like...
It's a decent flight.
Yeah, I think because when I used to live in Vancouver, it was like 9 or 10 hours flight. So
it's crazy.
So like I'm just... Every time it's like anything less than 7, I'm like, it's not that long. Anything that is not like a full 8-hour sleep, I'm like, it's not that long.
Your perception is so different living in Europe. Even just having to go to Europe is just so different because you just don't get that. Even the United States is pretty freaking big, and unless you're going to like Hawaii or Alaska, you're not really getting that long of a flight.
It's always going to be like 4 or 5 hours max from one side to the other, to be honest. So, yeah, well. The thing is, I'm flying, and a lot of people when they fly, well, not a lot of people, I wouldn't say, but let's say a lot of VR people are starting to bring headsets onto the plane. MetaQuest 3, Apple Vision Pro, if they have that, obviously. In fact, I think if you have a Vision Pro, 99% of the time you are bringing that on the plane because you spent so much money on that, and that's one of the main things that you would use it for like traveling and such. But it's still something that I'm not going to do. I'm not really comfortable wearing it in public. I feel like it's still too like maybe big, intrusive, or like it's obviously the way it looks as well. It's just like it's very apparent, and such. It's not like slick, I don't think, compared to like a Vision Pro or so. And I think there will come a time where it needs to be a lot smaller and not obvious, and it will be a time soon. And it could be the new Meta headset that's coming out this year, the Phoenix. That seems, it's from the rumors and such, it seems like that's going to be like just a puck with like glasses, basically, maybe just like thick versions of glasses, and it's going to be there for your content and such. So maybe Meta are already about to put out something later on this year that's going to kind of...
Steam frame is cooler. It's black.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When you were talking about the Steam frame, I was like, that's another interesting concept because, the thing is, when it comes to having a VR headset on the plane, you're obviously not going to play most VR games, obviously, and such. So I wanted to ask you, Samson, as well, and maybe we have a little discussion about this, is that if you had a VR headset on the plane, what would you use it for? Would you use it for mostly movies, or would you use it for mostly gaming? Like what would you prioritize if you just had to pick one?
Well, I feel like you don't really have to just pick one, especially if you've got a long flight. You can. I've got a flight next month. It's about probably a little over 5 hours, I think. And I told my partner that I plan to bring the Quest, and she said, "No, that's embarrassing." And so, of course, I will definitely be bringing it and making sure I use it now. My plan is to pack on there a couple movies, like just put the movie files on there. And then put a few smaller games, and I mean smaller as like don't require huge movements or space. So thinking like Cubism or Banners and Bastions. Even the Banners and Bastions, it's small enough, I think. A game like Masternoid, if you want to be in VR, you just need kind of one controller and can just subtly move. Dan, I might use the Citra VR emulator. I might play some Detective Pikachu.
I need to update mine for sure, since I've not changed it since the original version. I'm sure it's gotten lots of updates since.
I don't know about that, but I do check it to make sure it still works here and there. And then, can you sync things from Oculus TV? I might try to do that if you can.
I don't know. I can't remember if you can. I know there's certain apps like the Felix and Paul ones, that you can essentially, through the app, you can download those movies or those experiences and such, but I don't remember if it can, to be honest.
But overall, I think that I'm most likely to watch a movie on there, and just use it for that, because you don't have to move. You can still see around you. You're still as present as you need to be. And I'll also probably bring my analog pocket and maybe throw on some Pokemon Fire Red or Leaf Green, one of the old school.
Yeah, why not? Because that's what everyone's talking about, and when you're in the mood for it, you're in the mood for it, And I think they play like so perfect on that screen anyway, and such. So, yeah. Oh,
Dan, and this seems like a perfect time to talk about the case I have, which it comes from Bobo VR, and it has two halves, and the Quest fits in perfectly with the Halo strap, and it's got a spot for an extra battery pack that sort of magnetizes in, and then a strap that goes between where the controllers go to sort of keep them in. And Dan, I was trying to carry too many things and close the front door the other day, and I actually dropped the headset.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so talking like 3 feet or so, and I was like, you know what? I bet that thing's all safe. And they got to the car. I unpacked it, and the controllers had moved around a little bit, but they were still strapped in there. And the battery had moved out a little bit from where the battery, was. Yeah, but it was all still in there, and everything was fine, of course. So, just want to shout out that carrying case from Bobo VR.
Nice.
It works.
It works. Are you... I know obviously there's a part of like when you bring it onto the plane, you're obviously wearing it and such, that's fine, but like actually carrying it onto the plane in that bigger case and such, is that
on the plane? I probably won't carry it in that, because I'll be limited to one carry-on, or maybe I can count it as a purse. I don't know how I'm going to get away with this, Dan.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm intrigued.
Maybe I'll just wear it. These are my glasses.
Yeah. Maybe you'll just wear it. That's just how you need them to see. Like you have to see through them in order to see. If you take them off, you can't see. Yeah, I get it. So yeah, it's just that I was intrigued about what the carry-on situation would be like. But hey, you report back when you go in April. But I think for me, I like the idea of playing the games and such on a plane, whether it's like a VR headset or just like a Switch or a Steam Deck or something. But I think I like the idea more than I actually do it. Like if I think about actual practicality, I think most of the times when I've bought like a gaming one in the past, I'll play it for like maybe an hour, but then I'll just put it away, and I kind of just want to sit there and just stare at nothing. like Putty.
Like the Larry David bit. Yeah. Oh yeah, that one too. Yeah.
I've done that a few times, and it drives my partner up the wall. But sometimes I like to watch the movies more than anything, just so I can have something. Obviously, when they bring the food and all that stuff or whatnot.
You're probably not even watching your movie. You're just watching.
Yeah,
you're just watching everybody else's.
Sometimes I do that. It's always an interesting thing when you go up to use the bathroom and you're looking around and you're just curious to see what everyone else is watching and such. But
the best is doing it during like an event, where everybody's watching the same thing. You're like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, look. When I was a kid, I remember on the plane when it was just one screen that everyone would just watch.
I do remember that. God, that was bullshit. Like a fucking coach van bus.
Yeah, the coach as well. That was funny. The coach run was interesting because like I feel like actually it's even on the plane. Like sometimes you're just in those rows where you're just too far away from the screen and you're just too close to the other one. So you're just in the worst.
You're underneath the other one.
Yeah, you're underneath the other one, but too far away from the next one. And yeah, you were all trying to watch Home Alone for the 25th time on this flight. But I remember it back then. So maybe that part of me is just still in there, which is a bit weird. But I think I think in the end of the day, I think I'd use it to watch movies. Like when I would watch movies in the plane. There's so much choice now for movies that I spend like a good 20 minutes just whilst everyone's kind of sitting down, going through every single movie and like starring the ones that I would be remotely interested in. So I'd always land to like 5, and then I'll end up watching like some random Curb Your Enthusiasm on or Seinfeld or something on the TV instead. But when I do watch a movie, it normally is more of a lighthearted movie, I don't know. It's just because of the screen, I think, more than anything. Like, I every time I see Lord of the Rings and such on there, I'm like, oh, that's perfect movie. It's going to take me all the way. But then when it comes to watching it, I'm like, I actually don't want to watch it like this. It's not that great. So those kind of movies would be great in this situation of having the headset and such, so you enjoy it properly. And it's the perfect time to watch, like, big, grand movies, especially if you're going on a flight during the day. Like, when I'm flying back to Toronto, I'm flying during the day. It's like during the afternoon, so it's not like I'm going to try and go to sleep or anything like that. So it's the perfect time. I was going to say,
for a lot of my flights there, I will be sleeping.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Like
as well. Yeah. Every time I fly, I try and do an overnight one. So flying to Ireland, it's going to be more on the overnight side. But flying back, it's going to be always through the day. It always is, just because of time zones and all that stuff. So
it's so cool though. You leave at like 9 a.m. and you get here at like 11.
Yeah, I know. It's the best feeling. So yeah, I would be interested in terms of the Meta's new headset later this year. It was not something that I'd probably buy because I wouldn't be able to justify something just for planes, and that's it. But I would be interested to see what it looks like and how it is, because they came out with something the other day. I think it was during the GDC, where they showed the 3 target audiences. I think one is like the enthusiast, one is the I think one was like just your average person, or like teens or something. I can't remember what the second one was, but the third one was adults, and they would really targeting adults to get into the space would be through content rather than like gaming and such. So it's going to be really interesting to see.
They say this, Sam.
They do say this,
but they've lost NBA.
Yeah.
What content is all we got from James Cameron was a 3D Avatar trailer. A trailer.
Yeah.
A trailer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's all coming. Maybe it's all coming for the Phoenix later this year. I'm sure we'll hear like September. I think we'll probably hear about it in the annual conference. But yeah, anyway, that was just a food for thought. Samson, I think you wanted to talk about your getting trim with the rhythm game.
Oh, is my rhythm game time now, Dan?
Yeah, it's your time. Right. It's your time.
There's been a lot of game updates this week. We were like, what are we going to talk about? I was like, Dan, updates just keep coming. They just keep coming. And so one of the big ones was Synthriders, one of my favorites. And Dan, honestly, you sort of reinvigorated this because you got in last week. You mentioned it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get back in. And so this week, I'm just gonna, you know what? I'll save what I did this week for later on. I'll talk about the new progression and all that for now. Yeah. And so this week, Synthriders had a huge update where they've created a progression system that gives players a way to record their journey through Synthriders. So what that means, you can now track personal performance stats across your gameplay. You can level up and display your progress over time. You can share these milestones with your friends and show off your level in both single and multiplayer. A couple of these stat achievements are number of hits, poor hits, good hits, perfect hits, total play time, etc., full combos, and all that. And it's just so cool. I wish I had all my stats from my history of the last 5 years, but you know what? You got to start somewhere.
Oh, so you start fresh. I haven't tried this yet, so it's
honestly, you start at level 1, so I assume it doesn't. Have
it doesn't have your history.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
So the new progression system, it sort of introduces a new way for new players to get into the game. It's sort of a guided, structured experience. So it'll show you where to start, what to aim for next, how to get the most out of Synthriders, and all the various game modes. Yeah. Unfortunately, I know what I want out of Synthriders, so I'm still just going into what I want. Like, I'm not gonna. I guess I should go back and do the tutorial now, but I don't. I'm good. Mostly.
Yeah, that's a weird one. The complete the tutorial's an odd one because that makes sense when you're new, but if you've already played it before, having that, I'm gonna have to now go into that just to get the XP, can be a bit annoying, but I guess it's not the biggest deal. But yeah, I like the fact that they have different challenges, so it just makes you. I think I know you know what you want to play, but at least now using this, if you can kind of get into the achievements and the challenges and such, it kind of,
Oh yeah, it keeps you in. And you get that dopamine hit after each song. You see your little bar go up, numbers go up, and feel good. Yes.
Yeah.
So some of the achievements are like Combo King, where you have to get a number of combos, number of times you've played a song, perfect streaks, etc. And Dan, outside of all that progression system and all that coolness, I just want to talk a little bit about the music because holy hell, there's a big wide variety of music. So first of all, if you're into monetizing or want to record, there's a song pack for you called 99 Lives Music Pack. Totally
royalty free.
Royalty free. There's the Synthwave Essentials, Volume 1 and 2. A couple of my favorite. I'm going to talk about some of my favorites.
Yeah, go for it.
There's obviously a lot of others, but Automatic Call by Nina and Running in the Night by FM84 and Ollie Ride. And then Tonight by Sunset Neon and Riot by Dance with the Dead. These are my favorite songs from those song packs. They kind of remind me of like the 80s, most of that song pack. I don't know that this, not like 80s, because there is also an 80s mixtape and a 90s mixtape that's really got like your 80s, but
it's a synth wave essentials, right? And that's kind of the 80s.
It's like a different style of 80s. The 80s mixtape is like pop 80s, if you will.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Then there's Electro Swings. These ones are really tough. They get you moving. They get you grooving.
It's a great pack.
There's not a one I don't like really in this whole pack.
I agree.
They're so good. They're so good.
It's probably that one and
Caravan.
Caravan's fantastic. Yeah. The Lindsey Sterling one as well. I think they're two that surprised me when they came out and such, of how good they are and how well they work as well in this type of game.
Yes. Lindsey Sterling, the Adrenaline Essentials, where you get some Come Out and Play and Self-Esteem by the Offspring.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh man, Dan, this latest one, Lady Gaga. All the hits, my favorite ones. I be singing, I be dancing to all these jams, and really, I'm playing so hard that I just got to look out for the Papa Paparazzi shooting pictures of me. Dan, I love it. I love it. It's great. And it's got mixed reality. I've been playing on the PlayStation VR 2 as well. The colors, just everything pops so much on that. On the OLED.
And with the controllers, you feel like you're actually holding what it is in Synthriders as well, because
It's
they
true.
kind of
The orbs.
look like the orbs. And so, in the first of all, I didn't realize there was a Lady Gaga one. Didn't realize that was out. But in that, is there a feature song like with the with the effects and such? Is there a feature song?
Oh yes. I don't believe so. No. Like a whole. Sometimes they have an environment that's all dedicated, like with the Barbie, and all that. I don't think there is one for Lady Gaga.
No. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, I just looked on there as well, and it doesn't show it.
But a good amount of Lady Gaga tracks.
They have 11 tracks. Yeah, they have 11 tracks. So it's a big pack, to be honest. Nice.
I think it was $16.99 USD.
Yeah, it's still pretty much that, depending on where you get it. I think on Steam it's a little cheaper at the moment, but yeah, depends. I mean, they're all. You don't need to buy the full pack as well, right? You can just buy individual songs if you don't like some of the songs and such. So that's fine.
Also, Dan, if you're playing on Quest, it's very easy to get custom tracks. Go to synthriders.com. That's with a Z. And you can sort of find them there. Extreme Caliber, who we had on the podcast, last decade, still my favorite mapper. Still pumping them out. Incredible stuff. Dan, shall I move on to Smashdrums? Huh?
Well, before you move on, because I've just been googling this pack. The Synthrider, the Lady Gaga, looks like it came out in December last year. I didn't realize. I actually forgot and didn't realize that this is on Switch as well. Like they made a flat screen version
There's a
of
flat
this
one.
recently. Yeah.
It kind of plays like Thumper, from what I've read.
Yeah, I wonder how well. If it's doing well. I hope it is. But yeah, you can. The music pack is just to confirm, you can buy them individually on Quest as well. Sometimes with Quest, it's slightly different to how every other store works. I don't know why. So yeah, I just wanted to confirm that. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Very good. Very good. It makes me want to jump back in as well. I know I went in like last week, but it just makes me want having that progression is really cool, because if you think about Beat Saber, where you have the campaign aspect of it, which is kind of similar in terms of the progression in a way, just a bit more, I would say, more like you have to go through the path in that order rather than this progression. There's no real order. You can still do things in different orders if you want, but there's just something to strive for rather than just going into your favorite songs and such. But I always liked that in Beat Saber, because it just got me trying different things, different songs, different types of play styles as well, that you could kind of go into. So yeah, I think this is great. I will definitely check this out when I return.
Well, Dan, you speak of this campaign situation of Beat Saber, and that is kind of what Smashdrums has added into their game. Yeah. So first off, right off the bat, Smashdrums makes me feel like a badass. Like, I feel like the drummer I've always dreamt I could be in my dreams. Like, I am Travis Barker. I'm doing it all, and I look cool doing it in my head. This campaign, it centers around scaling the ranks from, just a tiny little drummer to the god of drums. And as you progress, it's sort of like almost like an RPG, if you will, where you start at level 1 and you can go all the way to level 20. There are over 100 missions, and each mission is you're playing a song, maybe just regular, or you might have sort of a stipulation like speed play or don't miss 10 notes, etc. Things like this. Make sure you get your timing right, 50% mojo, etc. And apparently, according to Upload VR, it takes about 3 to 6 hours to complete. I am currently at level 7, and you start at one dot, and then the way it works is you have to play arcade and a classic. They sort of want you to get, I think, a taste of different things. And from there, you sort of get to choose arcade or classic. And I've stuck with arcade. Classic plays like your old Guitar Hero, where you have notes coming at your drum set, and each drum is a different color. And you hit them. I find
that I've always found classic quite difficult to get used to, but
yeah,
it's more. I can see why people will like it. I actually do like the idea of classic a lot more.
Better seated.
Yeah, because it's better seated, and it's more like you have your drum set and all that stuff. So it makes a lot of sense and such. But the arcade ones it's probably the way that we played originally, right? So that's probably why.
Yeah, it's how it started. It's where the drums are and cymbals are coming just at you, and you've just got to hit the spots correctly. I played for probably a little over an hour, about an hour. I love that you're just like the Synthriders one. You're just constantly seeing bar go up, numbers go up, and unlocking things. Lots of dopamine hits as you level up. So it tells you raise your arms to level up, and you've got to actually raise your arms like O'Doyle rules. And then you see it level up, and it's just
that's cool.
Such a cool VR, like unique thing to add to that. It doesn't really add much, but it's just like a physical thing.
Yeah,
you're like, I leveled up, and you get to celebrate it while you do it. It's euphoric.
That's fun.
As you unlock more and more and grow, you can customize your drum kits, your drumsticks, and your avatar. I think there were like 100 drumsticks I counted. 20 or so avatar heads and like 10 or so drum kits to unlock. So, you've got some reason to be playing them. And as you play through each mission, you usually can choose between 2 base game songs and 1 DLC. So I've got all the DLC, so I always have 3 options. And then I just usually pick whichever one I'm in the mood for. It's kind of cool because usually in like Beat Saber, you got to play each song as you don't get to choose. It's a nice variation on it. It gives you a little bit of a control over what you're playing. When you boot into the campaign, it's definitely on like an easier mode. And I was like, oh boy, like is this going to be this slow?
Yeah,
you play you play 1 or 2 songs, and then you can kind of get going. And each song, it seems to give you the option of playing normal or playing speed. And so I've just been picking speed, and I've been going pretty well. And as you keep doing missions, sort of other mission branches open, if you will. Mm-hmm. And each branch seems to be a different take. Like one, I think, is requiring you to do like classic mode or arcade mode, something like this. It also, campaign mode gets you trying all the different sceneries. Normally, I just kind of stick with one and just don't bother with changing it. But this one, it makes you beep bop around.
Yeah.
And my favorite one by far is a concert where fire's going off at like key moments and you see the crowd roar. Dude, this game makes you feel so cool. I can't describe it any more than that, if you will. But I'm singing along. I'm belting the lyrics like zombie, Cranberries and Evanescence bring me to life. I'm singing along, and I'm at my own little personal concert of one.
I love that though. That's the whole idea of it, and I really like the idea of you're trying new things, you're trying new environments and such through the campaign, and that's what I was mentioning with Synthriders is why, and with Beat Saber, is why I love the campaign aspect. Because otherwise, I don't really branch out of the comfort zone. Like you find the ones that you like, you find the songs that you like, and you kind of just stick to it. But it's much more fun when they kind of just throw you into things and just get you to just try. So with the campaign itself, do you kind of basically go through every song in the library essentially? Like or
sort of what it feels like.
Yeah,
you do have some choice, like I said. So
right, yeah.
I have been choosing a lot of the DLC tracks, but it's also good. I've found some songs I'm like, I've never heard of this band or anything. And it's a good jam.
But do you get to choose, like, just to know that correctly? Like, is there like a small like selection that you get to choose, or just let you choose?
So well, sometimes you don't get a choice. Sometimes there's just one, and then more often there's two regular base tracks and then one DLC.
Got it. Yeah, I see. And then obviously, if you don't have the DLC, I guess that's what plays. I was just curious because obviously, not everyone will have all the DLC and such, so.
Yeah, that's why it's a two. It's always two bass tracks. Yeah, and then they show you the DLC. Yeah, so maybe it'll entice you. Yeah.
They tempt you. Yeah, I got it. That's cool. That's really good. So you've been playing this a lot then, since you jumped into. Have you just kind of got addicted to this since this new campaign now?
This pod sort of got me back into it, if you will. This is the beginning of my God of Drums journey.
Now the question is, are you going to play this one on the airplane?
No, probably not. And I've been playing. PlayStation VR 2 is where I love to play Smashdrums.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess the environments would look really, really cool in the
blacks are black.
Yeah.
And it on the Pro, it does have a quality mode, but it's a rhythm game, so I'm putting that in performance mode and make sure my frame rates are steady.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm wondering if the Quest Game Optimizer has a profile for it. I haven't checked. I'm curious. Very good, very cool. I mean, Samson, I didn't really play a rhythm game like yourself. I kind of did, but I'll get into that in part 2. But I want to mention episode 2 of Crafting Crimes. So for those of you who don't know Crafting Crimes, we talked about this in a prior podcast. And when we did our awards at the end of last year, it was voted as the hidden gem from a lot of you listening to the show. So I had never heard of it until essentially that award show. So it was very cool to see what this was, and it's a free. It starts off as a free experience, and you get one episode in there basically, and you've got another episode. There's episode 2. Episode 3 is coming soon, like within the next month. They said March, so it will come at some point. Episode 2 was only $1 Canadian as well.
It's basically free.
It was basically free, yeah. I had Quest Cash as well, so it didn't cost me anything. But I think the normal price is $3 Canadian, so that's like $2 USD, I think is what they would normally charge it, but it was just on sale. So it was just $1, like what, 70 cents? It's like nothing. And to be fair, it is just a small little experience, but it's so well done. So for those of you who don't really know this title, it's less so of a game, but more of an experience more than anything. So you go through each episode, so is one specific crime case, not a specific murder, but the first 2 are for sure. But it's a crime case that basically, and it's one of the more famous ones. But I both of these I haven't heard of myself, but they're famous crime cases that maybe are slightly unsolved, but it's quite obvious.
It's a mystery.
Kind of what's happened. Yeah, it's a mystery and such. And you meet with this person who I should have just written a name down, but I never did. But she's a crafter of this tiny, I don't know what you call it, tiny sculptures.
She recreates
kind of thing.
Tiny houses and the scenes.
Yeah, tiny sculptures and such. And essentially you watch a little video from her, and it's in spatial video, so it's in 3D and such, and it looks fantastic. It looks so good. It's so crisp. It's so well done.
It sounds like your optimizer was on.
Maybe, right? But it looked fantastic. I don't think it was, to be honest. I don't remember hearing it when I played the game, but maybe it was. But it looks fantastic, and it's in mixed reality, but it basically dims your environment, and sometimes it goes completely black when you're looking at maybe the pinup board and you're trying to see the timeline of the actual crime and such. But essentially she talks about the crime, so she gives you the background, and then you have to reconstruct the crime scene, or reconstruct the house basically where the crime took place. But it's not like you need to do much work. It's essentially she gives you like the main kind of skeleton of the house, and you have a bunch of rooms on the right of you, and it's all hand tracking, and you just need to pick those rooms up and put them in the right spot. That's all it is. Like it's really basic.
It's an excuse to tell you the story in bits and have you have choice. So each room you build, they give you like a couple lines about it.
That's right, which is really nice. Like reconstructing the house just to give you that little bit of detail as you go. It really helps you kind of sit with the information and kind of listen to the information a lot more than just listening into like just one person just speaking at you. Like adding a bedroom, and then it's like, oh, this happened there, or this is what, blah, blah, blah. Like, and then there's always a feature room in each one of the levels. And when you put the feature room, normally the feature room is the one that has the murder in, at least it is for the first two ones. And once you've got the feature room, then you have to put in the furniture as well for the feature room. So you'll have to put in like the bed or the couch or the TV or something like that. And once again, every time you put those little pieces in, she gives you more of the story. And it's really, really well done. And she also goes through the length of like putting glow in the dark paint in there, so it looks like blood splatter. So you can see it on her video. Yeah, you can see it on her video, but then you can see it on the actual house that you're building in front of you. And like I said, it's super sharp and super well done. And there's like shadows of the murdered victims basically. So you never see like the goriness or anything like that, but they utilize shadows to kind of give you the idea.
Tiny models, Dan. That's the word we were looking for.
Tiny models, yeah, that's exactly right. But yeah, this second one was really good. It was about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. And it was just I liked the first one more in terms of the story. That one was really more interesting and gruesome, shall we say, compared to the second one. But reconstructing this house and seeing the blood spatter was really well done. And after you've done the reconstructing of the house, then essentially you see the timeline of events with the reconstruction. So it's all, you zoom into certain areas and you see the shadows of like the murderers coming into the room or the murders taking place, and you kind of see the shadows, and there's something really eerie about it. Just watching shadows, right? Because it's just the shadows, and then everything goes dark, and there's something really eerie about it. But it's really well done, really well put together, and yeah, I had an absolute great time doing it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the third one later on this month that will come out. It's going to be called Mona Lisa Heist. So this one's not going to be a murder. So the Mona Lisa Heist. And then you can also vote for the fourth episode right now. And there's three options. You've got the Sharon Tate murder, which is the classic Charles Manson murder, which is in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, if you've seen that film. It's basically based off that. The Kim Kardashian robbery in Paris, which is actually currently winning. And then you've got the Amanda Knox case, which is the famous case where she was accused of murdering her roommate in... Oh. No.
That's Italy.
Italy, yeah. So those are the three that you have to choose. I voted for the Amanda Knox one just to have something a little bit different, although I would be interested in the Sharon Tate one. The Kim Kardashian robbery, probably not, but that is winning at like 46% at the time I did it. So get in there and go vote. Go vote, because it's absolutely free to jump in there and vote and such. But yeah, I would highly recommend Crafting Crimes if you're into it. Like, obviously, if you're not into the true crime or the murders and all that stuff kind of creeps you out, or you're going to get nightmares from it and all that kind of stuff, then obviously it's not for you. But for most other people who don't fall into that category, I would highly recommend it. It's completely free, and then it's just $1 or so just for the next episode. Yeah, you'll be mad not to. And it's so well done. I think the biggest thing that I love about this is to showcase spatial video for me, because I've never tried it. and the spatial video looks wicked, and I'm like, oh, this is actually really, really cool. It's kind of like what the 3DS tried to do with the Nintendo tried to do with the 3DS and such, of how the 3D effect kind of pops out, but it's just obviously perfectly done in VR. It's just really well made, and yeah, gets me excited for the future with that kind of technology as well.
This is the content, going back to full circle here for what Meta, the content that will get people in that's not gaming. That's kind of it.
I agree. And Meta did partner with them to bring this. Like, you see the credits, and there's actually a lot of people putting this game.
Oculus Studios.
Yeah, there was like 3 people from Meta that was helping or being involved in this as well. So yeah, I really hope that this is one of the big apps for Phoenix for sure. If they've done the 3 episodes already, maybe the 4th one comes out towards the end of the year and such, or maybe they can pump out a 5th. But having like a good 4, 5, 6 episodes ready to go by the Phoenix, I think this will do really well on that headset for sure, as well as like other stuff like the JFK Memento, as we always mention, and such. There's a lot of good content. It just needs to be properly curated and put together into a neat bow and package. There's content there already, for sure. There's content there for you. But anyway, that will do for part 1, Samson. In part 2, we'll just talk about some news and updates. There's a few fun little news stories that we just need to talk about, as well as another game that I've tried out, actually. So yeah, we've got some more. So we'll see you in part 2.
Hey, we know public lobbies in VR games can be a bit toxic, feel a bit empty at times. That's why we created the Let's Talk Oculus Discord, a friendly community that you can join for multiplayer meetups, general VR chat, the game, and chat about VR, fitness motivation, and there's even a very impressive 3D printing channel. Join over 100 of our community members in the Let's Talk Oculus Discord for free. The link is right in the description.
All right, welcome back to part 2 of this kind of random put together episode that we have today. Part 2 here, we've got a few news and game updates that we want to talk about, and Upload VR, I've got to say, have been doing a great job, like with Mike Johnson and James as well. Both of them have been doing a great job with articles recently, and Mike's going to be on the show next week, so I don't want to talk too much about this first one, but Little Nightmares, game that I completely forgot about. I don't know about you, Samson, but I forgot that Little Nightmares VR Altered Echoes is a game that's real and that's going to be coming out on VR. Like, I completely forgot about it.
I think that they had said something like semi-recently, like, we're still here. But I'll just let them cook until we see something, and now we see something. And,
now we see something.
What we see looks pretty frightening. It gives me some Midnight Walk vibes. Yeah, but definitely more of a game. Like, you're going to be doing more, I think, than Midnight Walk was more like you run and hide and you told the story. This seems like more gameplay,
more puzzles.
If you will.
Yeah, it'll be more puzzles. The release date has been shown to be April 24th, so another big game on the horizon, to be honest. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which we don't have the date for, but they said spring, so it'll be right around this time as well. And then we have the other game that's coming out at the end of this month, which I forgot now. The Boys Trigger Warning as well. So it looks like we have 3 like kind of potentially bigger titles, or like marquee titles, shall we say, over the next month or 2.
I mean, I'm most excited for Little Nightmares and TMNT. But I'm hopeful with the boys, Stan. But I'm not as I don't know. Yeah. I'm not completely sold. We'll see. But that's fair. We be eating pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna get the boys. The boys is the end of this month, right?
Yeah,
and then go on.
We still got our forever games that we've just mentioned, Dan. Synthriders, Smashdrums.
True. The forever
games are always there, forefront, and we just keep eating more. All right,
I wonder if Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are going to be May then, just to be like once one a month and such. That kind of will be nice. We'll see what happens, of course. But yeah, I'll let Mike talk about this game a lot more if he can next week on this episode. But definitely read his article. He really enjoyed the game, and he compared it to Out of Sight VR, which is another game which I completely forgot was a thing. This game came out at the end of last year for Quest, and also on other platforms as well. In fact, sorry, it's not out on Quest. That's probably why that's also coming out in spring 2026. I think it was meant to come out last December, but got delayed. You could have played the demo on Steam Early Access. I'm not sure if that's still available, but that is coming also spring 2026, which looked very scary. Out of Sight VR, I'm not gonna lie. Dolls and people just looking at you, following you. I don't know, it looked, I mean, it's not classed as a horror on Quest, which is hilarious. It's just classed as an adventure survival, so a narrative, so you never know. But Little Nightmares VR, just based on the footage that we've seen, does look more on the horror based. But have you ever played Little Nightmares, Samson, on the flat screen?
No, not really. I think it might have been in like a plus or something like this.
Yeah,
and
I
think I booted up, but I didn't get too into it. I think I was looking for like a Limbo or Inside.
Yeah.
And it wasn't meshing with me at first. But
yeah.
I'm sure if I went back into it, I could definitely stand to take another stab at Little Nightmares. Maybe I should too before I try the VR version, or maybe it's better to go in blank. I don't know. Get in the comments. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, Little Nightmares is a game that I've not really played too much either. I think I played one or two on like PlayStation Plus as well, and it does give you like Inside/Limbo vibes, to be honest. It does give you those vibes. I don't think they're exactly like each other, but it does give you those vibes. And you know, the first two games are normally quite cheap on everything, to be honest. I mean, I'm just looking at it here, and Little Nightmares 1's only $5 on Steam right now as well. So if you did want to get into it, I think I never really got into it that much because I played it on the big screen, and I think this game does wonders. It will do wonders more on a handheld device, but I'm not sure.
Maybe you want to be immersed and like scary. You want to be a dark room on a big TV.
I think this is just where we differ. I think I'm so into like handheld gaming right now that anything that looks remotely like more of on the indie side or anything like that, I'd want to play handheld. It's the same as Midnight Walk. Like, I'd really want to just play that handheld and such.
That's crazy.
But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's why I haven't picked up my PS5 all year.
I mean, I like the handheld for some indie stuff, but like not like those things are like aesthetically pleasing. Like worlds you want to be immersed in. Like I want handheld for like a Downwell or a pinball. You know,
maybe this is the OLED differences for the Steam Deck once again. I think because that screen is so nice, it's like I really like experiences like Little Nightmares because they look so aesthetically pleasing. I love them on the handheld.
They're tiny.
Yeah, they're tiny. I don't know. I have a big affinity for handheld for the last ever since I got the Steam Deck, actually, for the last year or so. Since last year, I think. So maybe that's why. But I think I might download this, at least the original one for the Steam Deck for the flight. To be honest,
for someone who wasn't sold on the PlayStation VR 2's OLED, you sure talk a lot about loving OLED.
I think it's just the handheld OLED. Absolutely love it. But yeah, I'm excited for this game. I completely forgot about this. It looks kind of scary on the footage and such, but more on the puzzle side for sure. And yeah, I hope it delivers. Obviously, it's coming out on multi-platform. It's on Quest, Steam, and PSVR 2. So it remains to be seen. It might just be better to be played on PC and PSVR 2. But if the Quest version holds up, I hope it does. I'll be very, very interested for sure. But more on that maybe next week with Mike.
Maybe.
The other article that James posted on Upload VR was about a game or a meditation game called Spacious Places Musical Meditation. Spacious Places Musical Meditation. Say that
Easy.
10 times. This game really intrigued me because I did enjoy some of the meditation apps that I've tried in the past, and this one was free to download with like a demo level. So I thought I'd try this one out. Definitely go read James's article on Upload VR, but I tried it out myself. So there's a demo level, and then it's $12.99 US to buy everything else basically. And the demo level is just like one environment essentially, and then certain instruments that you can have. So it's kind of in a rhythm game esque. It's, by the way, it's 20% off for the first 2 weeks if you want to get the game and then get the in-app purchase. But you should definitely try it if you're into meditation and such, because it's free to download with the demo. But I tried the demo level out. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's very different to other meditation apps that I've done. So essentially, the demo includes the one environment, and the one environment is you're in the night and you're amongst like mountains, and there's like a lake and there's stars and the aurora and such in the sky, and there's some nice music in the background, and you're basically floating in the air, and around you are instruments. So in front of you you have a set of congos, then on the left you have like some chimes and you have some bells. There's like 4 bells or 3 bells, and then on the right side you have a gong, and then you have like a cymbal, like on a drum. And so you have these instruments around you. You might have instruments behind you as well, but I actually didn't check behind me thinking about it. I actually didn't look behind me, so there might have been something behind me, but I didn't look behind me. I just looked in front. And you can do this with hand tracking, or you could do it with controllers. I actually found the hand tracking a little bit finicky on this app, to be honest. Like I was trying to select menus and such, but it kind of just kept getting stuck with trying to register my hand movements on the congos rather than actually navigating the menus. So I actually ended up using just the controllers in the end of the day. But what essentially happens is that you kind of float through this environment, music's playing, and you have 3 different modes that you can kind of try, and you can quickly jump between each one of these modes as you're going through this environment. And one of them is music mode, where you have those instruments that I mentioned, and you can just basically play them, and they sound really good. Like the sound captured for all of these instruments that I played sound fantastic, especially the chimes and the bells. There's something, it just tingles your brain, and I guess that's what it's doing, right? That's what it's meant for. And it's actually just really nice. You're just playing like some random instruments to nothing. You do whatever you want. And then you've also got like another mode where there's it helps you breathe, basically, like doing your like box breathing. So there's like a big bubble, and it grows and then closes and such, so you can do that. And then the third one is you fireworks. So essentially you can press your triggers and you can shoot fireworks out from, and you can do bubbles as well. And you could do your fireworks, and you just fire fireworks. So you can fire 1 or 2, or you can fire loads, and they actually look really good as well. Like they look, the environment itself, like if you look down at the environment, it's not the most high def or anything like that. It definitely looks really good up in the sky more than anything. But it's more to do with like just the ambience and the tranquility of where you're at. So yeah, it's cool. Like I would definitely check it out, but I feel like it's lacking a little bit. Like I would like a bit more guidance in terms of guided meditation, as like that be one of the modes. That'll be quite nice. And also maybe a guided instrument session as well. Like maybe have like a bit of a rhythm game in there, but obviously more of like a slower pace and such, but just with the instruments, or have maybe a song or something or music that kind of makes sense to kind of play to, just to like get the feel for it. That'd be quite nice.
A breathing rhythm game where it reads your breaths as the input.
Interesting.
Because
maybe
you use your mic, I think, right?
Maybe.
If you're breathing loud enough.
If you're
a silent breather, you might have a tough time.
Well, they do say with meditation that you do want to breathe like take your breath loud, like it should be loud when it's coming out and such.
There you go.
So yeah, I would definitely check this out. It's like I said, it's free to play for the demo level at least, and then you can pay for it if you really like it. And there's a ton more instruments that you can unlock, like so many, but they sound really good. So yeah, it's a decent little fun little meditation app that caught my eye from Upload VR. So definitely try that out. Samson, we also have Thrill of the Fight 2 is an interesting one. Thrill of the Fight 2 has been in esports recently. Now, normally with esports, you normally have like the gamers playing and there's commentary and all that stuff. I'm not really into esports. I have no problem with it, but I never really watch it myself, to be honest. But this one's an interesting one because it's literally boxing, Thrill of the Fight 2, and you had like an actual there's an actual boxer, but boxing trainer, and then like a podcast host, so one of us, Samson, and they were essentially doing a Thrill of the Fight to fight in esports, basically, and you can watch the whole thing on it's on the Global Gaming League YouTube channel, and you can watch the whole fight if you wanted to, and they loved it. Like the people who actually fought and such, they had an absolute great time because they were like busting with sweat and all that stuff, and they were just had like a really fun experience just doing boxing in esports.
Yeah, what makes this one unique is that it's in person. They're all physically there, whereas a lot of esports, you're just like when I watch Breachers, none of the people are in the same room, and I'm not in the same room watching them. Whereas this is like it's almost like a real boxing match that you're watching. Like there's a ring with each boxer. So they're not obviously boxing each other because they're in VR, and then there's like a crowd around them. So it's like more of a physical thing, it's like going to an event. Like you'd be like, oh, we're going to this local Thrill of the Fight 2 match. Like that's such a cool, unique idea. It's very cool. You'd get people, I feel like, into VR that might not be at all interested. You'd be like, oh, hey, Ted, I'm going to this fight. I wouldn't tell him it's VR, right? I'm just going to sneak Ted into this, and then Ted's like, whoa, this is kind of, what is this? And it does look pretty cool.
It does look really cool, yeah. And once again, Upload VR have done a good article on it as well. But it looks
we will be getting in some of this Thrill to Fight 2, I believe, with Squashy. I believe he's got some sort of
he's got something planned whilst during PAX,
competition planned. Yeah.
So we will see. We'll see if we can do some VR fighting ourselves. But very, very cool. Anyway, that's the 3 news articles that I wanted to share from Upload VR that would really pique my interest. But Samson, you had some. Yeah,
and also hot off the presses, like 2 hours ago is from recording time, so old news upon release. But Meta is planning sweeping layoffs 20% as AI costs mount. So now instead of burning money in VR, they're burning money with AI, and it's costing some jobs.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
There you go.
Not surprised.
But yeah, I did want to get into some good news as well, and along with the Synthriders updates and the old Smashdrums update at this point, the Battlemarked, the Demeo, had a tease. And they said they're currently working on their Hirelings Phase 2 for multiplayer, along with adding language support for a bunch of new languages. And they left us with a limerick. Something is stirring in the shadows. Power not learned, but bargained. And so, who knows? If you know what's coming, get in the comments. If you don't know what's coming, get in the comments. I don't know what's coming, but I'm intrigued. I do have to play through that second campaign. I just got in a little bit to get the special dice or whatever. Yep. And then I did get the heart dice too from signing up for their Battlemarked, where they got to send me emails or some shit like this. Take all my data and give me cool dice. Thanks. And then
so the tease, but we don't know when it's coming out yet or anything, right?
No. I think at least next month. I think that the update said like per their roadmap. Here's our March sort of update, if you will.
Yeah.
I think it'll come post March. And then Breachers by Triangle Factory, they teased a new game mode, and they showed a video where the camera's just honing in on what looks like the diffuser device just beeping. And honestly, I can't tell you at all. I have no idea what it is. I mean, what could it be? I do not know, but I'm intrigued with a whole new game mode to play on all those maps. That could be something interesting.
I couldn't tell what it was either, to be honest. It was like, because I thought it would be something like a search and destroy or, that kind of thing, but that's already in Breachers already. But who's to say? But it does seem like a new game mode, right? That's what it seems like it's teased rather than like a map or so.
Maybe like a hostage game mode. I don't know. That's what somebody threw out. It's
great to see them still putting out updates for it, though, because I know obviously they've moved to Forefront and such. So to keep Breachers going, I mean, it's important because Breachers is so beloved by a good community there, and it's such a well done game. Yeah, right. They did some updates with those too recently, or last year and such.
Exactly.
Yeah, very, very cool. Well, Samson, that will wrap up for this kind of random mishmash episode, but it was a fun one. Good job. Good job.
Yeah. Good job by you, Dan. I know I sort of threw you off because, a little behind the wall. I was like, hey, let's do some room scale episode because we didn't really know what to talk about. And then just this week, I got super into all the rhythm games.
And
Dan, I forgot to mention, I've been playing Synthriders outside again.
Nice.
So I throw that baby in mixed reality and Dan, and it's nice and cool, so I'm getting a cool breeze on me as I'm playing. Synthriders outside, and you can play Smashdrums outside too. But
of course. I mean, you can play it all outside, and maybe those room scale games we'll get to in the future because you can play them outside and you can actually do them in the proper one.
As long as you can avoid the sun, it's easier to avoid the sun in like a stationary game.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Very, very good. Next week, like I said, I will not be here. Samson will sit down with Mike. But I'm sure that would be a really fun episode, to be honest. And then I'll be back the week after. But enjoy that. Enjoy that episode. I've been Dan. He's been Samson. And we'll catch you next week. Take care.